Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. We're just going to wait here a few minutes to give people some time to get into the webinar and then we'll get started. Okay, so let's get started. Again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your location in the world. Thank you for joining us. This is an informational webinar about GenderPro. Um, During this 1 hour session, our goal is to really familiarize you all with what you can expect if you take the GenderPro capacity building course, what you need to do to kind of successfully apply, and what you can look forward to learning from the course. And we have online with us today a couple of the potential instructors for this next cohort, some folks who manage the back end, the administrative side of GenderPro, so you'll get to meet all of us as we go through the presentation. And just a really quick housekeeping note. So there is a Q&A function, so feel free throughout the presentation if you have any questions to go ahead and type those in, and one of us will be screening those and trying to answer them as they come up. Otherwise, we will get to them at the end of the presentation during the discussion section. All right, so let's get started. It's my pleasure to turn it over to Chelsea Ullman.
Thanks, Gabriella. It's really a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Chelsea Ullman. I'm a lead research scientist at the Global Women's Institute, where several of us are from, and that first sort of developed this program in partnership with many others. I was many years ago part of the development of GenderPro, and I'm looking forward to passing this over to instructors and others who are more in the active leading of it now. But GenderPro really came out of a partnership with UNICEF, originally with funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and this urgency that was felt around building gender capacity across development and humanitarian sectors. So the idea that if you were a humanitarian specialist or a WASH specialist or in any sector education specialist, that you should have some knowledge of gender and gender transformative programming to integrate into that work you're doing in any sector to further our goals towards gender equality. So that's really how GenderPro was born. And we've been very excited to watch it grow over the last several years. Gabriella, go ahead and next slide, or whoever's doing next slide. Great. So we really think GenderPro is a change-making program. This capacity building program is innovative. It's really transforming how gender equity is addressed in international development, viewing everybody in international development and humanitarian settings as potential change makers on gender. And that's what we hope to do through the GenderPro capacity building program and the credential program. Next slide. So as I mentioned, it's the GenderPro umbrella is two main pieces, and there are some other things that we'll mention in a moment. But when you think of GenderPro, it's really two big things. One is this capacity building course. This is a 6-module course to build your skills as a gender and development expert, regardless of the sector that you're in. Really hoping to build up your understanding of gender equity in whatever work you're doing. And we're going to get much more in detail about what that course looks like and how to apply and all of those things. Then the GenderPro credential is a separate but related piece, and this is really groundbreaking. This was the first globally recognized certificate for gender experts in international development. So these two pieces are connected in the sense that if you go through the capacity building course, that prepares you to take the test for the credential, pass the credential, and have that credential on your CV, signifying that you are a gender expert in international development. The credential is also available to people who maybe don't need the course, that have done gender work, have that experience, but want to have that credential on their CV. They can take the test and pass it and be awarded the credential as well. And we have some study materials for that population who maybe want to just brush up and make sure that they're in a good position to pass the credential exam. So we really have a suite of tools here, but there are two big pieces, and that's the course, that's 6 modules, and the credential exam as well. So this is when I say it's kind of a suite of tools here, here's a little more information on what that encompasses. So we have what we call a resource library in the GenderPro platform. And this houses a whole bunch of resources, not only that help you prepare for the credential, but are useful references as you're doing work in any number of sectors. So, maybe you're not taking the course anymore, but you've long since graduated, but you will still maintain access to this resource library that can be really helpful in any kind of work you're doing around gender transformative programming. As I mentioned, we also have credential preparatory documents in a few different languages, in English, Spanish, and French. So these are documents that will help you prepare for that credential exam, whether or not you've taken the course. And then finally, we have what we call a training center, which allows you to design and customize your GenderPro experience. So this is something that's really developed out of our work with the GenderPro program, and realizing that different organizations really may want to use GenderPro in different ways to build up the capacity of their staff. So we've opened up this opportunity through the training center to customize the GenderPro material to make it as useful as possible for staff working in different organizations in different contexts. So if you're interested in learning more about that, or if you think that would be an interesting opportunity for your organization, let us know and we can talk to you more about that. I think that's it for me, right?
Yep, that's it. Thanks, Chelsea. I will jump back in then. So, hi everyone. My name is Gabriella Nassif. I'm a research scientist at the Global Women's Institute, and I'm now helping to manage GenderPro. So it's great to be here, and it's great to see so many of you on the call. So for this next portion of the webinar, we're really going to only be talking about the next cohort of the GenderPro capacity building program. So what that means is the next 6-module period, right, where you are taking the course and those who are accepted into that course. So I wanted to start quickly by going over the calendar. And just a note, all of these materials will be available to you and will be sent to you again in document format if you are accepted to the program. So you can expect, and my colleagues will talk about this in more depth later, but you can expect an email that kind of details all of this and gives you more materials to walk you through the next steps if you are accepted to the program. So at a glance, the course is going to run from October 2026. So that very first week of October, which actually kind of overlaps with the last couple of days of September through January 2027. So some kind of key moments in the schedule. Uh, September 28th will mark the kickoff of what we're calling week 0. So that's your introductory week. It's the period of time where you get to meet your instructor, meet your colleagues who are in your session, make sure you have all of your materials prepared. That will start September 28th. Because this cohort of GenderPro is running through running through a couple major holidays across various different places and traditions, we're actually going to have a couple of breaks. So we normally have a 1 week midterm break, so to speak, for GenderPro, and that will be the week of November 16th through the 20th. So for those of us that are in the United States, this loosely correlates to that Thanksgiving holiday break. And then we will also have a 2 week break marking the kind of the Christmas holiday and the transition into the new year. So you're going to get that block of time off too. So that would be week 12, which is December 21st through the 25th, as well as week 13th, which is December 28th through January 1st. Um, on the back end of the course, and we will talk about this more, my colleague Daniela will walk you through this part. But as part of your kind of total grade for the course, you're going to give a presentation on your action learning project. And that will take place during that very last week of the cohort, which is January 18th through the 22nd. However, as you can see in the parentheses on your screen, we will add an additional week if necessary. So if colleagues in your session need more time to present, or if you weren't able to get through everybody's presentations during that week, we will add on an additional week. But everybody will be finished with this cohort by February 1st. Relatedly, here are some key deliverables of the course. So again, week 0, this is that September 28th or October 3rd period. The goal here is to meet everyone around you, right? This is an engaging course. It's an active course. Everybody should come prepared for a lively discussion. And part of that means actually knowing who's in your session, right? So getting to know your colleagues, what sectors they're representing, what work they've done in the past, as well as getting to know your instructors. They are really kind of the gold mine of the GenderPro program. They are the ones with this key experience and key wisdom that they're going to impart. So that week 0 is really a time for you to get to know each other and to get to know your instructors and what's expected of you. Another key week is week 9. So this is the week spanning November 30th to December 4th. That is the week immediately after your first break. That session is going to be a discussion section led by you and your peers about your ALP. That's the Action Learning Project. This is a chance where you will really get to kind of pick the brains of your colleagues as well as your instructors about your learning project, what you're preparing. Is it in line with expectations for the course? And perhaps are there any materials or resources that you might not be aware of that your colleagues or your instructors know of? So really, you want to use that time to your advantage to get prepared to put together your final project. So week 10, that is December 7th through 11th. The plan or outline for your final project is due into your instructor. Again, I can't stress this enough. This is a really important milestone because it is a chance for you to get some really substantive feedback from your instructor about your ALP project. And then finally, week 16, which is the very kind of last week of the cohort, plus an extra week if necessary. That is when you'll give your presentation on your ALP to your colleagues. And then finally, a key date. Please bold it, highlight it, mark it down in your calendar. ALPs are going to be due Sunday, January 31st at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And I will say what we've done this year to kind of help streamline this process is we've actually built Google Calendars for you all. So once you are accepted into the program, once you pick your instructor and live session, you'll get a calendar document that you can upload into your own personal calendar. So you'll be able to see straight from week 0 when things are due, and what you can expect as you go forward. But these are the key dates. We do have instances where where people need extensions. Of course, we are not understanding, and we will try to be as flexible as possible. But also, please remember, out of respect for your colleagues and of course your instructors, right? You want to make sure you hit these deliverables so you can actually participate and engage with others in your cohort. So no need to take any notes on this, but I just wanted to put this in the slides to show you that this is the calendar that you'll be receiving once you are accepted, if you are accepted into the program. So again, everything's laid out here, everything step by step, what you can expect throughout the cohort. And now I'm going to turn it over to Andrea Bertone to walk us through the requirements for the course.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Gabriella. My name is Andrea Bertone, and I have also been a part of the GenderPro course since the beginning, and I've been teaching since 2018. I have a long career in international development and focused on gender and social inclusion in my work. So I'm very happy to be here and meet all of you. So I'm going to go over some of the requirements that you have. And as Gabriella and Chelsea said, it's a very dynamic course. There are a lot of components that allow you to engage with the material as well as your instructors and your colleagues. And what's really wonderful about Gender Pro is that you are joined by colleagues from maybe multiple continents, people coming from such different backgrounds with an interest and experience in development and gender and research. And so I can say I've learned a lot from my own colleagues as much as I hope that they're learning from me. And so it's really a great opportunity to connect with people from other backgrounds, other cultures and experiences. So you will have an online content portion whereby you're going to be engaging and watching, maybe watching videos, reading. There are modules, 6 of them. As Gabriella said, you have quizzes at the end of the modules that allow you to, to test what you've just learned. And then there is a course evaluation that you will take at the end. Because there's only 6 modules, we really require that no one misses no more than 2 live sessions. And if you do miss up to 2 live sessions, then you will be asked to complete makeup assignments for those missed sessions. If you miss any more than the 2 live sessions, then it really becomes difficult to follow the rest of the content and the rest of the course. So we ask that people arrive on time at the beginning of the class and stay through the hour and a half to the end. And then you will really be able to uh, get the most out of the course. Um, you are asked to meet the course milestones. So a lot of the course, and Daniela will talk about this in a little while, is this action learning project. So you'll be asked to submit a plan for your ALP. At the midpoint of the class, you will present kind of your outline and maybe the first half of your ALP so that your instructor can determine how you're doing with it, provide feedback, and help you with, with the rest of completion of the ALP. And then, of course, the submission of the ALP on January 31st. As again, as Gabriella said, you must submit your ALP to and receive a passing grade. There are basically you have a pass and a fail, but of course we all want everyone to pass. So hopefully your instructor will work with you if they feel like you're not quite there yet, that they will work with you to make sure that you do have a passing grade and you can get your ALP to that point. And then once you receive that grade, then you can go on to do the certification if you choose to do that. Next slide. Yes. So again, there's 6 modules of content, and each live session is 90 minutes. And then for each module, you will have an online session, meaning that you yourself will be engaging with the material first, and then the next week we'll meet as a class, and we'll get a chance to discuss the content, ask questions, and go through some additional content that we have prepared for you. So we ask that you plan to spend about 1 to 2 hours when you are going through the self-paced part of the course. The module topics are start from really grounding everyone so that we all are on the same page, so to speak, about what gender means and what power means, because gender dynamics and power are interrelated. And so we really start in the foundation, understanding that people have various understandings of what gender means to them, but we want to get everybody on the same page with that. So that's where we start. And then we focus on what gender means in international development specifically. We talk about different approaches to addressing gender. We are talking about key concepts, maybe international legal frameworks. And then our goal is to get everyone in the class to understand how do we build and implement gender equitable programming and gender transformative programming. That's really our goal for you to be able to achieve in your own work. So we have devised the course so that you understand how you can get there. And so it follows with being able to understand how to do a gender analysis, how to integrate gender into theories of change and log frames, and then how to integrate gender into monitoring and evaluation plans. And then finally, we focus on advocating. How can you advocate for gender equity in the programming that you do and beyond? Because a lot of what we do as gender professionals is having to obviously engage with other colleagues who may or may not have the same understanding of what gender is, and therefore sometimes a lot of our time is spent talking with other people, convincing them that gender is important and how to do that. So we do have a component in the course on advocating for gender. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Daniela.
Thank you, Andrea. Hi. Well, my name is Daniela Moreno. I work as a consultant, 15 or even more years, integrating gender equality in many, many countries. So I have an international experience on this. And I have been teaching GenderPro for 5 years already, or I don't know, 6, something like that. But that's been a long, long time ago. So I'm very happy to be part of this great project. So I'm going to explain the Action Learning Project. I have to be honest, I'm pretty much obsessed with the Action Learning Project because I love it. Yeah, really. This is the practical journey of this upskilling course. For this reason, it's great because through the Action Learning Project, you have the possibility to put into practice all the knowledge and the skills developed over the course. So this is an amazing opportunity to work from a practical point of view, right? So this is an amazing opportunity to understand gender programming from a practical point of view. The Actual Learning Project essentially is a project, of course, that you have to develop. And you have two options here. You can work on an existing program or project. This means that, for example, if I'm working in a health organization, maybe right now I'm facing a project on reproductive and health right, and I have a possibility to improve gender equality. So I'm going to work considering this project, and I'm going to do a great job with my organization. So this is an amazing opportunity. If you don't want to do that, you have another option, which is to start a project from the very beginning, from scratch. Maybe you have an amazing idea, you have been thinking for a long, long time, and now is the possibility to do it. The vast majority of my students, what they do is they challenge themselves. This means that for the very first time, they are going to design a project of a topic that is completely different than what they have been done for many, many years. For example, this year, I have a GBB expert, and for the first time, she designed an actual learning project of cash transfer. So this is an amazing opportunity to learn from a practical point of view, something completely different. So you are very welcome to do that as well. So for the actual learning project also is an amazing opportunity to discuss with me, with Andrea, or with the rest of the instructor about what are your needs, what are you struggling with, because we have face-to-face meeting with you to discuss your ideas, your topic. We are going to provide you the actual learning project template, so it's very easy for you to follow this assignment. So for that reason, it's very easy to have the right discussion, considering the content, considering the model. So it's very easy, but at the same time, you are going to get a lot of benefit with this, okay? So we have different deliverables. The first deliverable, this is very important. I need to see as an instructor your plan. So for that reason, you have to think about the topic. You have to think about your actual learning project from the very beginning of the training. This means that in our first session, which is going to be the orientation session, we have to discuss about your preliminary idea of your actual learning project. Maybe after this session of after the live session number 1, we can have a face-to-face meeting and we can discuss. I'm going to help you how to tie better your actual learning project, because at the very beginning it's not easy, but this is our work as an instructor to support you in this journey. The second deliverable is the presentation, the ALP presentation. So almost at the end of the course, you're going to have the possibility to present your actual learning project to the rest of your peers. So this is an amazing opportunity to receive feedback from the rest of your peers, to receive feedback from your instructor as well. And also, I think that when you have the possibility to present your work, it's very good to organize better your ideas, you know, to say, okay, this is working, this is not going to work, I have to improve this is okay. So this is an amazing opportunity for you as well to tie better your actual learning project. And at the end of the course, and this is the last deliverable, you have to submit your ALP report or your ALP document. As I told you, we are going to give you an actual learning project template, and this is the report in itself. This is the way that you have to structure this actual learning project, and it's at 10 and 12 pages. Next one, please. So in terms of ideas, you can select any topic of your preference. Here, for example, we have some ideas linked to child marriage, reproductive health, sexual rights, the edutainment program, for example, catch transfer as well, advocacy tools, maybe a methodology that you want to design from the scratch on how to improve gender equality in my own organization. Maybe some training for trainers and methodologies. So please feel welcome to think about a topic that you really like, a topic that you are going to be able to put into practice in your organization or in your own life. So please feel welcome to do whatever you want, because here we are here to support you. As I told you, we are going to have face-to-face meeting. We are super flexible. You can ask whatever you want in terms of your actual learning project. And at the end, I think that this is the heart of the training, because here you have a possibility to put into practice, to understand gender programming from a practical point of view. We are going to provide some advice for you. Can tell you what is really working when you are on the field. We can provide some data. We can have a very great discussion. This is a learning journey when we are discussing your own actual learning project. Okay, so thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elena Aguilera, and I am a program manager for GenderPro here at the Global Women's Institute. And I myself have also been a student of the GenderPro Capacity Building Program. So I'm really happy to also be working on this amazing course. One of my responsibilities is to oversee the application process, and I'm going to walk you through it. So first, we have some key dates. On July 15, 2026, so about 2 weeks from now, keep this in mind, is when the priority application will end. This means that if you want to be considered for this upcoming cohort starting in September, you need to apply by July 15. And from then on, we will have rolling admissions. So what does that mean? That means that the applications will be open for the rest of the year for you to submit your application, for you to be considered to any upcoming cohort after this cohort in September. Next slide, please. And then how to apply. So once you visit our GenderPro website, in any of the pages that you will navigate through, you will see in the upper right corner the apply button. This button will take you to our GenderPro portal. And next, please. Thank you so much. This Pro portal is the place where you as a student will have all your information centralized from the very beginning of your application process all the way to admissions, where you choose your sections, payments, and so on. For you to access this platform, first you have to create an account. You write up your email, some password. There are some requirements to have a safe password. Just keep that in mind. And if you already have created an account, you can always just click on sign up and continue with the process. You can always start the application, and if you don't have time to finish it in one go, you can always come back and continue with your draft. So once you start the application, for you to complete it, in addition to the application formulaire or the questionnaire included for the admissions, you will also need a copy of your CV and proof of education. This could be for your bachelor's degree or any other higher education degree you have. If you want to apply for a scholarship, there is also an option during the application process in the application questionnaire. There you will need to complete a set of questions and support information for you to apply for the scholarship. And then you can complete and submit your application. The application can only be submitted if you have completed all the steps. That means complete the questionnaire, submit all the supporting documentation, the CV, proof of the education, and if you have also included your scholarship request as well. In case you are not allowed, sorry, in case you're not granted an application, a scholarship, you can always apply for a payment plan, but more on that on the next section. Yes, so after you have completed and submitted your application, you will receive an automated email saying you have completed the application and that we have received it. And after the application process ends, this is in July 16, we will start reviewing the applications. So a few weeks after that, you will be notified on the decision of the admission to the course, as well on the decision of the scholarship in case you have applied for one. You will receive emails as well from the same address as you receive the email confirmation from your submission, guiding you through every step of the process and asking you for the next steps to follow. And remember, every single step of the application process from the very beginning all the way until you are admitted and selected your section and so on will always be through this GenderPro portal. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marianne McCarr. I am the Assistant Director for research administration at the Global Women's Institute, and I manage most of the payment and sort of financial things around GenderPro. So this is going to be a little bit on how you pay for the course. There you go. The course costs $2,500. And there are basically three options for payment. You can do full pay, which is basically you pay the whole thing at once. A payment plan, which allows you to spread the payments out across the period of the course. And those who meet the criteria may be eligible for a scholarship. Though it's important to note that meeting all the criteria doesn't automatically mean that you get a scholarship. Next slide. Okay, for those who are doing full pay, initially there is a reserve amount of $250 that we have to receive along with your commitment letter before August 21st. That will reserve your space in the cohort. And then before the cohort starts on September 28th, we need the remainder of the payment of the full $2,500. On a payment plan, we still need the initial $250 to reserve your spot in the cohort by August 21st. And then you have 4 follow-on payments, one before the course starts, one in late November, one in early January, and one before you submit your ALP, or when you submit your ALP at the end of January. Excuse me. So we do offer a limited number of scholarships for applicants who meet a set number of criteria. Sometimes they are full scholarships, sometimes they are partial scholarships. The criteria are that you are living and working in the Global South, that you work at a local or regional organization that is women-led, and that your employer is unable to cover the cost of GenderPro. So when you are doing the application, you can indicate whether you want to be considered for a scholarship, and you will need to indicate that you meet these requirements. And just to let you know, there are 2 ways to pay. If we have a payment portal that accepts credit card payments. So if you want to pay by credit card, that is what you use. If you need an invoice, for example, for your organization and they want to pay via wire transfer, you just let us know and we will send you an invoice. So those are your 2 options. You can pay by credit card or you can pay by electronic payment, wire transfer. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Marianne. Okay, so I will finish this up here before we open up for a Q&A. So what are the next steps? Basically, what happens after you apply, as Elena pointed to, you'll receive an automated email saying that you've completed your application. And I will say, I put this in the chat, but please make sure to check all of your inbox compartments and folders. Because it's an automated email, you might miss it. It might be automatically filtered through to your spam box. So please make sure to check. And as Elena said, the email will indicate GenderPro in the title in the email sender box. So just look for that. If you are accepted, you'll receive another email that says congratulations on your acceptance in the subject line, and that will have a whole set of detailed instructions about what to do next. So that includes how to pay the reserve payment that Marianne mentioned in order to reserve your spot. It will include an attachment known as the commitment letter. So the commitment letter is a letter that you will need to sign electronically, or paper and pen is fine, but you will need to return that to us alongside your payment. In that commitment letter, it basically just says that you are committed to taking the course. You're committed to completing the deliverables to the best of your capacity and going through the entire 6 modules of the course. We will also put in there more information, again, to Marianne's point about how to pay. So either using the automatic portal online to pay by credit card yourself, or, as Marianne mentioned, if your organization is paying for you to take the course, we'll provide you with the instructions for, the information we will need to generate an invoice for you and how they can then pay by wire transfer. So all of that will be in that first email if you are accepted. You will also, accepted participants will also be invited to participate in another webinar just like this, where we will walk you through those instructions and again give you a lot more detail about what you can expect both before and during that first week of the course. Excuse me, and we'll have the instructors there just like we do today, to kind of answer any of your questions and to help facilitate that process. And I went through these bullet points, but I just, put them here in case. I know there's a lot of text on there. And again, don't be overwhelmed. We'll send you in that acceptance email all of these details. So you will, again, in order to receive your spot, you'll need to pay that down payment as well as signing and returning the commitment letter to us. We have the date of August 21st in there. That is the date by which we would need to receive the down payment in order to confirm your spot. Otherwise, and we will let you know if you've missed the deadline, we'll open up your spot to somebody else, perhaps on the waiting list or somebody looking to transfer into a certain section. Again, all of that information is included in your acceptance email. So with that, two last things, and then we can open it up for discussion if anyone has any questions. Up on your screen are two QR codes. So there's one that says visit our GenderPro FAQ page. If you follow that link, there is a whole set of questions there with far more detailed answers, in case we've missed something or in case, after this webinar, something pops up that you're curious about. I would check there first because we do have a lot of good information there. And then, of course, on the other side of the screen is the QR code to our general GenderPro website. When you get to the GenderPro website, at the top, there's going to be a little drop-down menu called Capacity Building Course. That's the one you want to look at. That's the one that's got all the details about the course, how to apply, where to go to apply, and the email that you can send us any questions you might have about your application or the application process more generally. So with that, thank you very much for joining us, and thanks to everyone on this call who presented, took the time to join us. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to raise your hand and we'll try to answer them. If not, what you can expect is a follow-up email that includes the link to the recording of this webinar, which will be on the Global Women's Institute's YouTube page. And we're also going to put it up on the GenderPro website just so it's there for your information, and for others who might be looking for some more info about the upcoming cohort. Yeah, thanks everyone.
We have some questions.
Yeah, go ahead, Elena.
So Kirti asked, would the live sessions be on weekends only?
So I can answer that unless Daniela or Andrea, you want to answer that about when you tend to host your live sessions. But I know just from the past, we've generally hosted these during the week. We do not hold weekend sessions. We do try to offer earlier sessions for people as well as those that would be outside of the workday, so that you can attend them later on in the evening. Anyone else? Okay. Okay, great. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Thanks to our instructors and the GWI folks who joined us. We look forward to hopefully receiving your applications and seeing you in the fall. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.